Good morning, friends. Welcome to Take Two for this Wednesday, the 3rd of July, 2019. It's hump day, and I'm Jeannie. I'm so glad you decided to come along for the ride. I got a phone call from a friend of mine yesterday who was desperately looking to move from one apartment to the next and just kind of hitting brick walls. And she was just so sad about this. And it was like, oh, look, don't worry. I did like kind of a cheerleader thing. You can do it. You'll find it. Just the right one will come at the right time. And this kind of thing. And she is working through it. And she's lived in the same place for a very long time. So when she found out her rent was about to double, she knew it was time to get out of there. And anyway, one thing led to another. And she's just shopping around. And I encouraged her the best way I could. Now, she's on the right track. And this is all good, although a little part of me wants to fix everything because I am a fixer. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe she can come and live in our city. Well, the fact is she lives many miles from here, and so that is not a feasible option for her, although it would be nice to have her nearby. I know that wasn't any way that I could possibly fix it, and the only way I could fix it this time was to just be an encouragement to her. And that was where my part in this ended. There are so many times where we try to encourage people, but in fact what we're doing is trying to fix their problem, when in fact there is something that they're supposed to be learning through this. And by us fixing it to the degree of interfering when somebody's trying to work through something, we go from encourage to enable. And that is a dangerous thing. Let me share a very quick story with you about many years ago when I was single and I lived in an apartment complex with a roommate. There was a young gal who lived just adjacent to my apartment. We'd see each other going to the laundry room and things like that. We kind of became on a first name basis. She's a real sweet gal. She was young, maybe in her early 20s, and she and her older sister were roommates. They had an apartment near to ours, and their parents had retired to Florida to a senior living place. So they was just the two of them, and they decided they wanted to stay in the city they were living in, so they took a place together, young adults. Well, what happened was her sister got engaged, and for about 8 months she kept encouraging her sister, listen, you better think about either finding a new roommate when I go, or you need to either move into a smaller one-bedroom apartment. The rent will be considerably less and you can manage that. But you got to do something, because the truth is, I'm leaving. So anyway, the months went on and on and on. And this poor little gal, friend of mine, I'm going to call her Lisa, okay? Lisa was in quite a quandary. The time was coming closer to Big Sister's wedding, and she had not found an apartment, had not looked for a roommate, had not come to any kind of workable situation where she wasn't going to be stuck. In fact, Lisa went from living with her parents and her mom doing everything for her, and her dad paying the car insurance and even helping her buy a car and all of these things. She went from that to living with her older sister, who's like another mother to her, doing everything. I don't know that she ever washed a dish or made a bed. And the sad thing is, because I guess they were always trying to encourage her, what in fact they were really doing was enabling her. So anyway, time went on and her sister got married, and now the first round of rent came around without her having enough for the rent. And I remember going down to the laundry room and bumping into Lisa, and she's weeping. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how to fix this. And I'm thinking, you had all this time to do this, and you really had a lesson to learn here, but you didn't do anything about it. And so here my wanting to fix everything kicked in, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe she can live with us. And I'm thinking, no, Jeannie, your apartment's not big enough to take in a third person. It wouldn't be fair to your roommate either, not even on a temporary basis, because I had a suspicion she would never leave, and that would not be helping her. And then it might end up that we become awkward with one another, something. And no, that's not it. And her sister had gotten married and moved 50 miles away, so that wasn't an option either. with her job and everything. And I thought, well, you know, I don't know what to do, but I'm thinking, okay, maybe I could help her pay her rent. Maybe I could loan her money. Maybe I could do this. Maybe I could do that. And then very clearly a little bulb went off over my head and said, Jeannie, encouraging is one thing, but enabling is another. So maybe she just needs to work through this on her own. See, there was a real life lesson to be learned there for all of us. You know, of course, she needed to be the person who prepared and didn't let everybody fix her troubles for her. That was one thing Lisa needed to learn. But then I needed to learn, and I'm still learning, the difference between the two. Because let me tell you something, I have trouble with it because as I always tell you, I always say, go be a blessing to somebody today. You may be the only one who is. Now, being a blessing is one thing, but enabling them is quite another, because you want them to learn life lessons too. You want to be an encouragement and even encourage them to even make their own mistakes. You know, I know, I've talked to a lot of parents and grandparents who have painstakingly had to watch their child or grandchild fail at things, little things, not if it was going to be a big, huge brouhaha. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just simple things that they had to learn the hard way. You know, you can't go in and take a test for your child in school, but if you see that they did not study for that lesson, you can't intervene. You can't interfere. You could encourage them and say, listen, you're not very good in arithmetic or mathematics. You need to study so that you could pass that test. And then you can encourage. But you can't sneak into the school and sit in their seat and take the math test for them. Of course not. So sometimes you have to watch people fail or not do very well. And you could be that cheerleader. You could be that encourager. But you could do it without enabling. So that's my word to you today, boys and girls. Remember, every time you think about fixing something for somebody, and you may be called to fix things from time to time, analyze the situation and say, okay, when I start dipping from encouragement into enablement, stop me, Lord, because this is never a good thing, okay? Now, as I said, go be that blessing, and also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jeanne Sigler, Jeannesigler. Hit that subscribe button, and of course, great music, great programming, and all sorts of really cool specials we're running all through 4th of July, starting tomorrow, all the way through the week, and all kinds of fun programming. Please tune in to WRMZ.org and click that listen button. Hey, and this might be a good time for you to think about making your donation to RAM FM by hitting that donate button, your safe, secure donation through PayPal, so we can continue that great programming and bring it to you all free of charge, okay? Love you all very much. Now listen, get ready. Tomorrow's the 4th of July. I have a very special Independence Day message that I'm going to be bringing your way. So be well, and by all means, be encouraged. I love you. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.